This is now a health emergency of not ifs, but when. Officials warned there would be more UK cases of COVID-19. This afternoon, 3 new patients were confirmed. But it's still the 20th case diagnosed on Friday that is most significant. The patient who came to this clinic in Surrey wasn't infected overseas, but here in the UK, opening a new chain of transmission that's uncomfortably close to home.
It is scary. I work in London, so you see up there's more and more people wearing masks and people talking about it. So, you know, you don't really think it's going to happen quite so close to home until it does.
The children go to school on a train. My husband goes out to London on a train. I work in a school. So the opportunity for you catching it is pretty high.
I don't know what the privacy rules are surrounding the guy, but he should probably, has he been named? I don't know whether he's been named, but it would be nice to know whether, you know, he's been in contact with anyone in the town.
In all UK cases, authorities have had to examine who the infected person may have passed the virus onto. But this is the first time they've had to look in the UK for where the virus came from.
He may well have been in contact with somebody who had travelled to one of the infected areas, Italy, Korea, China, and they may not have had symptoms, or they may be about to get symptoms, because this is a disease that has an incubation period during which you're infectious, and then you can pass it on.
New emergency measures are now likely. The government is looking at giving schools, councils and other parts of the public sector powers to suspend laws, including health and safety measures, to cope with a pandemic. Schools and nurseries will be allowed to have larger classes to deal with staff absences. The emergency legislation is expected to be published next week.
You would expect us as a responsible government to be planning for all eventualities. We are planning and we are working to achieve the best outcome, which is that containment continues to work as it is working as far as we can see at the moment. But you plan for the worst as well, so that you ensure that every eventuality is covered.
Governments across the world are bolstering their response as numbers of cases rise. The US announced its first death from the disease of a woman in her 50s, and it increased travel restrictions from Iran.
She was a wonderful woman, a medically high-risk patient in her late 50s. 4 others are very ill. Thankfully, 15 are either recovered fully or they're well on their way to recovery.
France has banned gatherings of over 5,000 people. Italy has shut schools in affected regions for a second week. And Japan has urged all schools to remain closed until the end of March. Here, the Prime Minister spoke with top health officials to examine the UK response ahead of an emergency cabinet meeting on Monday. Caterina Bertozzi, Sky News.